Hello world, you're watching 80s Music Twin Ranked, and we're in our graduation year for songs, 1988. Good year, probably a good year for songs. Not so much for albums, but song-wise, yes. So let's get right to it, just so we don't have a long video. What were people listening?
That's going to happen anyway, so regardless.
What were people listening to in 1988? What was the top 10?
The top 10 is, starting with one, we'll just go through these really quick. Sweet Child of Mine. Guns N' Roses. Not their first one. The first one I remember is
Welcome to the Jungle. We saw in that movie, the Deadpool.
Yeah, but I probably was on the radio before that. So this was 2 weeks at number 1. Roll With It is number 2 from Steve Winwood, and this spent 4 weeks at number 1.
I noticed that later in the 80s, they didn't spend as much time at number 1 as the earlier 80s years. Like, Physical was on it for 9 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, number 3 is One More Try from George Michael. Probably his slowest.
It's close to his slowest.
It's slower than Father Figure.
Yes.
And even Careless Whisper. 3 weeks at number 1. 4, Look Away from Chicago. Spent 2 weeks at number 1. Anything for You. How many slow ones we got on here? Anything for You at number 5. Miami Sound Machine. 2 weeks.
Their first number 1 hit overall for her.
Yeah.
But their last hit before she went on single.
Right. So number 6, The Flame from Cheap Trick.
Man, I only know
You never hear any of their later hits.
2 songs is all. You hear that and the one they play live.
Yeah.
I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's the only one I ever hear. No, 2 weeks. Everything's 2 weeks.
I do remember hearing that song when we had our graduation party at that one complex with the swimming pool.
Number 7, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car.
That sounds like a
stalker, Billy Ocean, Caribbean Queen.
She's trafficking.
Caribbean Queen is the only one I hear from him.
Yeah.
I never hear Lover Boy.
You're right.
Don't even hear the slow one.
No, not even the one from Jewel and Nile.
Yeah, but this is the pretty much. But Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car, Billy. 2 weeks, of course. 8, My Prerogative, Bobby Brown from Menudo. New edition. 1 week at number 1. Number 9, Every Rose Has Its Thorn from Poison. 3 weeks. It's number 9, but it's spent more weeks.
You know what? It's not always how many weeks they spent at number 1. How many weeks they were actually in the top 40. Some of them shot up, and then they immediately fell out right away.
This song just, it cracks me up that I didn't remember way back when that it starts with a... and then Every Rose Has Its Thorn starts with him sighing.
You're right.
And then he strums. I'm like, I don't recall ever hearing that, and I hear it all the time. And number 10, Straight Up from Paula Abdul. This was also 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the top 10.
So I will tell you this. A few of those artists made our list. Not with those songs. And some of the artists we haven't done yet, it's hard to know. I just picked a song for you to rank.
Yeah.
Like Sweet Child of Mine, I did not pick. Because
like,
I didn't think
was Look Away on our list? Did it make it?
It made our top 10.
Okay, Look Away made our top 10. Glorious Fun, Anything for You. I don't think that made it. Did it?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, and the only other one we did was Paula Abdul. Straight Up, of course, did because all her hits were on our
Yeah, and we had a song for her in our 1989 chart.
Yeah, Cold Hearted. That was number 1.
We'll see if Straight Up. I think Straight Up might have been the only one. No, actually, there was another song that was higher than that one. Yep. That was way down at number 10, I think, for us. Okay, so that was what people were listening to back then. I agree with some of the artists, not the song so much. By the way, that list was slow. Most of our list, the hardest rocking list you'll see out of all our years. Okay, so I keep telling you how many artists had multiple hits, at least 2 hits in the top 10. This year was by far the most amount of artists with at least 2 hits, 29.
Yeah.
In 1989...
This is also one of those things that makes 80s music great, is that if you're artists, that when you say who the artist is, multiple hits that you can tell of theirs.
Yes.
Unlike that one hit this guy had.
Right. Now, 1989 had the most artists with more than 2, like 9 artists that had at least 3 hits that year. 88, it was only 7, and you have the list for that.
Okay, I got 2 of them.
That had 4.
Okay, 4 that had 4 hits. George Michael had 4 hits, and Taylor Dane.
Yeah, and that was, so this is the first year he split off on his own, right?
Probably.
Yeah, Taylor Dane.
I like her.
She does have a lot, but a lot of hers does sound the same.
Don't Rush Me. Yeah, pretty much all her songs sound like, but they're all pretty fast. I don't think she might
does
have
a couple.
slow ones,
Yeah.
but yeah.
She was like the later years Pat Benatar.
Right. And the artists that had 3 hits during the year were Whitney Houston, Def Leppard. This
Hysteria's
I wonder if this is
second year.
I wonder if this is Whitney Houston's debut year.
I
I don't remember.
don't believe so.
Okay. In Excess, Gloria Estefan, and Rick Astley.
Rick Astley.
Never Gonna Give You Up, of course, is the one that it became a meme kind of thing where everybody says, "Hey, you got Rick rolled."
Yeah, Rick Earl. How did he get famous
I
for
have
that?
no idea.
My goodness. Okay, so I'll just draw out some. You already mentioned the top 10. Some songs.
Can you name another Rick Astley song?
Together for
Together Forever. Yeah, that's the only
That's the
other
only
one.
other one, right? Okay, some songs that stand out, at least to me. Toto put out Pamela, different singer, but sort of a comeback. REO Speedwagon probably put out their last hit, Here With Me, from their Greatest Hits album. Aerosmith had their comeback album, and so Angel would be our highest from that album. Huey Lewis had Perfect World. Traveling Wilburys came out, Handle With Care. We had on 3 of our lists from artists, so why not put that there?
Yeah, Perfect World. I don't know if I mentioned this in the Huey Lewis video.
What's that?
That it had, as far as I know, is it their only one album that had a instrumental with slamming.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know.
I don't think I mentioned that in our Huey Lewis video. So
yeah, I know they went a cappella before.
yeah.
The reverse of
Oh, no, this was, and I thought they actually said the word slamming, but I don't think I listened to it and I didn't hear it.
Okay. Cocktail came out, so we have 2 hits from that album. Kokomo from the Beach Boys, and the one everybody loved at the time, but man, I can't listen to it. Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Yeah, he put out another song, but it didn't do well.
Did he? Okay.
Drive My Car, I believe it's called.
Okay. Vixen had their only big hit, Edge of a Broken Heart. We haven't mentioned Elton John. I'm going to throw that out here because our number 2 song from him came this year, and that's I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That. And then Rick Springfield had his last hit, which we didn't really rank, Rock-A-Life, which was a different sounding song anyways. Okay, so out of our artists, only 3 of our top songs came from 1988. And I believe only one of them will make our list. I'm not going to mention who that is. But the one that didn't make our list, In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart. Good song.
Our number 1.
Slow song.
It was the one we ranked number 1.
Yes. The one we agreed on as the artist's best song is on our list. I'll mention that when we get to him. And then the only other one came from Weird Al. Fat. Came out in 1988. We didn't agree on that, but it was our number 1. Alright, so with that, let's get first to the honorable mentions. I have 4. You have 2.
I always have less.
Okay, so, I know, because I get the weird ones. Alright, so, and I kind of wish some of these were still on our list, but the ones I picked that didn't make it, Nobody's Fool by Kenny Loggins, coming from Caddyshack 2, one of his really good fast ones. Obscure. Nobody's Perfect from Mike and the Mechanics, so Nobody is in those 2 titles. How Can I Fall, because I really liked Breathe. That would have been a slow one that I would have included in our list. And then Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car. Believe it or not, I put that in my top 10.
You just made fun of it.
Yeah. Now you had 2, and one of them was coming from Michael Jackson. Smooth Criminal did not make our list. And then I already mentioned In Excess, you put Never Tear Us Apart in the top 10. So there you have it. Those did not make it. All right, so, and most of these songs, all but 2 of them, made the top 10 in the world's eyes. Okay, so we did get it somewhat correct. The one that didn't, the first one that didn't, is number 10, coming from Pat Benatar, which makes her our artist that has the most songs so far. 3rd hit from her we've had. All Fired Up. We had this as our number 2 song on Pat Benatar's list. You ranked it at 15, I ranked it at 11.
So All Fired Up went all the way to 19 on the charts, and it was from the album Wide Awake in Dreamland.
And I can see why that didn't make it higher. It was not, even though we like that song, it did not play very often on the radio that I know of. Alright, what album?
Wide Awake in Dreamland.
Okay. So you can be wide awake, but in dreamland. So there's, you know what, that's probably true. If you look at the United States, maybe if you look at a map, somebody named their city
Dreamland, yes.
Okay. And by the way, I'll mention this too.
Let's call it the daydreaming. That's what that is.
That's it. So last week we did 1981, right? 6 of those artists that were in our top 10 were repeat artists. So, you know, only 4 new artists that we had not mentioned in the previous 2 years.
Yes.
This year, 2 repeats. Everybody else is new.
Okay.
Pat Benatar being one of the repeats.
Yeah, so we had her on Fire and Ice.
Okay, so you haven't heard us talk about any of these other artists yet for songs. Okay, number 9 comes from the number 1 artist on the world's eyes, but a different song. Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. And we haven't done Guns N' Roses as an artist yet.
No, but they were trying to say, how can we appeal to both men and women? Guns! Ooh, roses! And I'm like, oh,
And they got roses.
they got guns. I'm like, yes.
And that, you already, it's referring to a funeral.
Yeah.
Because you got killed by a gun, and now we have to plant roses at the graveyard.
Actually, and they had that video, November Rain. At the beginning, they had a wedding.
Oh, that's right.
And then they had her funeral. So it's like,
Okay, I had this one at 21. You had it ranked at 5. So when we get to
Yes.
Guns N' Roses, for all I know, Sweet Child of Mine will be the highest, and I should have picked that one. But we had
yes, okay, and this
Paradise
went
City.
this particular song went all the way to 5. They named their album Appetite for Destruction.
Okay, number 8 comes from an artist you wanted an album to be on the chart for, and I said no, but we'll include a song, and that's U2. And we got Desire at number 8. You put this at 7. I put it at 17. On our band chart, it was number 4.
Yes. This went all the way to 3, and the album was Rattle and Hum.
And this was the double-sided album. That's why one was
Yes,
Rattle,
yes.
the other was Hum.
Okay.
Did they hum any songs?
I don't know.
Okay, well we got U2. Even they made our list, so good for them. All right, number 7 comes from a solo artist who had his breakout when he was actually in a supergroup, and then when he went back to being a solo artist, he hit it big. And that's Robert Palmer with Simply Irresistible.
This went all the way to number 2. Different sounding from his other hits. This was from Heavy Nova.
Which I would not recommend getting. Get the other one.
I wouldn't get
Riptide. You would not get Riptide either because of the song.
I'd only
If they had not included the song Riptide, should have actually been on this album because it would have fit better. I know they should have put this album on Riptide, and that would have been an awesome album. Okay, but I ranked this one at 20. Not my favorite song of theirs, and you have it at 4. So most of these songs made the list because of you. But on our solo artist list, it was our number 5 hit. Number 6, another guy who broke off from a band. Actually, did I do one yet? No. He was solo and then went into a band. This is a reverse. Guy who was in a band and then went solo. And this is Peter Cetera. He had a song called One Good Woman, which we put as the second best song, and we obviously ranked him together with Chicago.
This song went up to number 4, and it's from One More Story. One Good Woman, One More Story.
I ranked this one at 8. You had it at 13. And yeah, it's interesting. I don't think, until we did our list, I don't remember him doing a second album. I thought he just put out that one that had Glory of Love on it. So, did he have any more after that?
No.
I don't think he did. Okay, so those 5. Now here's another thing. Those 5 songs I just listed, none of them are on albums that we ranked in our top 10s.
Of course not.
So the next 5 all come from albums that we did rank in our top 10s. Okay, so coming from Robert Plant with the song that both of us agree was his best.
Also a guy who was in a band and went solo.
That's true. Okay, and that would be Tall, Cool One.
Yes, from the album Now and Zen, which I think we said was his best album.
Yes, by far. Even with all the other songs that didn't get hit.
This went to number 25.
25, that's a shame.
It went to 25.
That, other than Pat Benatar, this is the only one that didn't make the top 10. And that's a shame because this is a really good song.
Yep.
Okay, as a matter of fact, Big Log probably did better on the charts than this.
Yeah, and this was our number 1.
Yes, it was. I ranked this as over the 1988 list. I put it as my number 4 song. You have it at number 9. Moving on to number 4, another band we have not done yet. And I think, again, we did mention him on that list, but a different song. This is Poison with Nothing But a Good Time.
This went all the way to 6, and it's from the album Open Up and Say Ah.
Open up and say ...
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Why they listed that, I don't know.
So apparently, they went to the doctor's office apparently.
Yeah, imagine it says that. It does literally say, open up and say ... Ah. They go to a doctor. Open up and say...
Yeah, wait.
Ah. Were you thinking about something else I should say? Oh, what's that word you should say?
Oh yeah, open up and say,
He forgot what the saying was or something. Okay, so I have, you actually have this at 10. I have this as my favorite song of 1988. I do remember hearing this all the time, right around graduation time. It was the summer tune to listen to. So, shame it's at 4. But there's a good bit of good songs. You can see how heavy, well actually, it's not as heavy. When we get to the next 4, you'll see the top 5 are the heaviest songs. Okay, so obviously we've got Robert Plant, coming from Led Zeppelin, Poison, hard rock band, Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, When It's Love.
Yes, this went to number 5, all the way to 5, and from the album OU812. Somebody has had to have gotten that on their license plate, right?
You would think so, yeah. Anytime something.
Yeah.
For all we know, they saw a license plate.
Okay.
And that's how they come up with it. Anyways, I ranked this one at 3. You had it at 6. And on our Van Halen Sammy Hagar list, it was number 5. Okay, number 2, another hard rock band, Def Leppard. And what songs did they put out in 1988? Because Hysteria went over the range of 3 years. 87 is when it went out, and Rocket was in 89. So they had 3 years they were putting hits out. Of course, they released like 7. Armageddon, it was the biggest. Of this year.
This went all the way to 3. It's from the album list here. You said already.
You know what? And you think about it, like Rock of Ages has a good beginning. With what does he say? The phrase that everyone likes to hear, right? And the song I liked from the next album, what's he say on that song?
Let's Get Rocked.
Let's Get Rocked.
Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, he starts with that, and then pour some sugar on me. Kind of has a harder sound that was unusual. This has a pretty good guitar start. Anyways, so you ranked this at number 3. I ranked it at 6, so it's the reverse of When It's Love. I had the 3 and you had the 6.
Okay.
And on the Def Leppard chart, it was our 4th song. So we picked one from 3 good albums. This would be the first song that was not one of the first ones. That's why Hysteria is their best album, not Pyromania. Okay, and that brings us to our first artist, not our last artist. Our last artist we're mentioning today, number 1, and it's our second repeat artist. Because we added a song of theirs in 1989, and this is Bon Jovi with Bad Medicine.
This, of course, went to number 1. It wasn't on that list, was it? I forgot.
No,
it's not on the world's.
No, because if it was on that list, it was farther. It wasn't in the top 10. It would have been
All
farther.
right, but it went to number 1. It's from the album New Jersey.
You know what?
And
I think
they don't go to the doctor like poison.
I think in the world's views, they actually list "Living on a Prayer" ahead of that song. But we did not, and the reason being, overplayed. But anyways, then for 1988, this was your number 1 song. It was my number 7, but in our Bon Jovi list, it was number 3. And I think we went through that list pretty fast.
Yes. So we
Fastest list.
Shortest video.
Okay, but that was a fun year. Nice to go faster a list once. But yeah, those were some hard rocking songs at least for the first 5.
That list right there beat 81 and 80 for sure.
For sure. It probably beat 89, I'd imagine.
And so next week we'll go back to 82. We're gonna get a little better.
Is it? Will it?
Not better than this week.
Oh yeah.
Better than 80 and 80.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be better than those years. It might not be as good as this year. That year was pretty impressive to me. So 1982. Do you remember any of the artists that are competing next week?
No.
Okay. What was our?
We've done them all. It's one of the top 70.
Yeah. What was our top album of '82? Thriller. Because it came out in '82. Now, I don't think Michael Jackson actually will be on that list because Thriller's songs that he put out
pretty much
were in '83.
Okay.
The one he put out in '82 was This Girl Is Mine.
Yeah.
That did not make a list.
I have a feeling Billy Joel will be on there again. Maybe
yes.
Phil Collins?
Perhaps.
So.
Not Def Leppard yet. Although they were on a list. Just not the early list.
Yeah. So 1982 next week.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye.